I went to the Marine Corps at the age of 19 because I noticed that the opportunities in my neighborhood was just not available at all. Something about the Marines just allured me, so I decided to go in, and I did fairly well. I really liked it. I loved being in the Marine Corps. I could see that my life began to change when I was stationed in Korea for a while at the DMZ in a town called Yecheon. You know, it started off with alcohol usage, which was in a way kind of sanctioned. And after I got out and there was no limits, that's when my addictions and substance abuse and in my knowledge now, my mental illness, they all caused my performance to spiral. After discharge, I wound up working for a company building helicopters. I wound up eventually resigning before I got terminated. My drug and alcohol usage was a constant progression until such time as I became completely homeless, but you never see it coming. Life on the streets is one of the most miserable things that I've ever been through, having to use the bathroom behind a dumpster. I remember having rats jumping all over me, and then I just wake up and, oh, it's a rat, and then I just kind of cover up tighter so that he doesn't get under the cover with me, and going back to sleep. But there is nothing more miserable than when it rains and you have nowhere to go. My family didn't know that if I was dead or alive for 5 years. They hadn't seen me in 10 years. What consumed my life more than anything else was trying to get and attain more drugs to feed my ever-increasing drug dependency. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I walked down this street. Actually, I think I was going to buy some drugs because they were selling some somewhere up in here. And I remember walking, and I couldn't believe it. And I looked at all 4 corners, and somebody's being robbed at the same time. And I said, man, what am I doing here? Being homeless was the most violent thing I've lived through. It was more violent than any other thing that I've dealt with. When you're homeless, you have to know how to establish bounds without seeming to challenge someone. Because there's someone that's just the fact that they're challenged, then you've got to kill them, or they have to try to kill you. I mean, it's ridiculous. You never know what you're going to run into. I've seen people killed for the last swallow of wine, the last 3 or 4 puffs of a cigarette, for a quarter. It is a struggle to stay alive. I had gotten out of being incarcerated for a violation, and then I'm down at Skid Row. Now I see homeless, and you see homeless all the time, but you never really see homeless that are so bad off that they have rags tied on their feet. This particular person had rags tied on their feet, and I remember seeing him saying to myself, man, I sure feel sorry for that dude. He walked down and he looked down at me and snarled and just jammed his hand in his pocket, pulled out the dollar and change, that's all he had, and shoved it at me and said, here, man, I feel sorry for you. And something about that got me. What did he see in me that made him feel sorry for me out of all these people to feel sorry for? And something about that just did not settle well with me. From that very moment, I didn't want another drink. I didn't want any drugs. I didn't want any. From that moment, and I can actually truthfully say that. And I took that dollar and change, and I got on the bus and came to the West Los Angeles VA Medical Center. And my life has changed from that moment. Right now, I'm presently attending 2 schools. I'm attending Santa Monica College for one portion of my computer information system, and I'm a junior at Cal State LA, also in computer information systems. I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs as a computer assistant. Okay, I'll take care of that for you. All right. I am able to, at my job, help people with computer problems. I know every software, I know everything about how to repair the computers. When someone has a need, I'm able to fill that need with computer knowledge.
Is this where you go to?
Yes,
okay,
that's it.
Okay, thank you.
At the end of the day, I'm able to go home. I'm able to turn the key and I can go sit down and be safe, free, comfortable, clean, and open a refrigerator that's filled with food. Who'd have thought it?
VA has established a national call center for homeless veterans or veterans at risk of becoming homeless. Counselors are available 24/7 at 1-877-4-AID-VET. That's 1-877-424-3838.